Again.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. Pretty hard to follow up that awesome Simpsons paradox video, but here we are. Excited to talk to you about summary table rewind from source to summary and back again. So, I wanted to lay out kind of a story here. We have Jane, who's the lead statistician on a new clinical trial that just reached phase 2. And she goes to Jane, um, or rather, Jane goes to Kelly to create some mocks to work on a few safety tables. So Kelly uses our tool tplier, an open source table package that we developed at Atorus, to create tables and turns around that work as RTFs in just a couple hours. Jane looks over some of Kelly's tables and decides she wants the numbers formatted differently. Like, let's say she wants 2 decimal places or the column to be decimal aligned. And she also wants to explore a couple different subgroups. By using tplier, Kelly can make those changes in a matter of keystrokes. So what is tplier? Tplier is a grammar of clinical tables where the user can iteratively add statistical summary layers. So we've seen a lot of talks on ggplot and things like that where you can iteratively add layers. Tplier is like that for clinical tables. So I don't want to get into the tplier code too much here, but I just want to show you that on the left-hand side here, we have a tplier table. We're taking an ADAE data set and we're piping layers to it. So we have body systems and then counting by those body systems, right? So that's how Kelly created this first table. And then all I want to highlight here in yellow is that second table after Jane's review where she said, actually, can you format this for me differently? All we had to do was add more layers to that table. So we have this function, set format strings within tplier, where you can set how you want the table to be formatted. And this is incredibly flexible. And also, another option here, we set the safety flag, subset the data to the safety flag being yes. So again, super flexible to make lots of different tables. All right, now for the fun part. So Kelly goes to a Shiny RStats meetup, and rather than create a static table output, she can make a dynamic web application for Jane, right? So now they don't have to have this back and forth where Kelly and Jane, actually, can you make this table for me? Kelly makes a table, then Jane asks for another table. Actually, can you make this for me? Why not just have Jane play with this web app and make those tables for herself, right? So I'm sorry this GIF is a little bit low resolution, but it's a demo app that I'd be more than happy to share after this, where we have these tree diagrams corresponding to the adverse events of a study. And when you click on that region of the tree, like here you see all the patients that are only discontinued, then the table is populated by that subset that you clicked on within the map. So you have that drill down compatibility here. So how did we do that, right? Jane can change the subset of subjects with a simple drop down or through a graphical interface like we just showed here, exploring the data, drilling it down herself to get those results for herself in real time. So now Jane knows that there's a specific subject contributing to some of these weird results. On the current summary table, Jane can't see which subjects are contributing to what numbers, right? Like in clinical trials, we have all this data and we want to see these summary tables, but now we want to kind of rewind and go back and see who are the contributing subjects to these summary statistics. So this is where what we're kind of building at Atorus right now, and would love to get feedback and talk to people about after this, is we've talked before about our package tplier and how you can build a table, right? Because at the end of the tplier pipeline, what you have to do is pipe the build function, and that creates a data frame for you. But before that, you get this object that has nested environments for each of those count layers or whatever statistical layers that you're going to add. And we can hold on to that metadata so that you can rewind your data, right? So we can take that big data, get that summary statistic, and then zoom back out using this. So on the top, I just wanted to visualize here, this is what you get. This is an example of what you can get from a tPlyr table, but really that object also is on the bottom portion of this slide, where we're holding on to the information of how you're filtering your data, what kind of layers you have, your target data set, and all that information is carried along for the ride. So what we're kind of suggesting here is, yes, you can make that summary table, but we want to be able to take that metadata and grab the relevant subset so that on click or in a web application, you can create an interactive table and zoom back out and use that as you see fit. So Kelly, in this example, is using tPlyr to enhance her tables so that she make the cells of the table clickable. And again, I just want to show this is one example of what we can do here. So in the slides here, we have a summary table where we have the placebo and treatments of divvied up by age. And I can click on this cell and see the 86 patients that are of placebo that correspond to that cell. And the way that I was able to do that was because we're holding on to that metadata object. Again, we're not just printing the table, but I can go to, and I'm using GT here, and I'm happy to talk about the specifics of this also after, but we can create these a modal dialogue so that we can grab the listings for these 86 patients. And drilling down even more so, in this cell, we have, not only are we looking at the 86 placebo patients, but now we're filtering again in this other environment where we have patients that are under 65. So for this, you see here that we're isolating those subjects, and we're able to do that and query that because we're holding on to that metadata object. Again, this one will show us 30 patients, etc. So this was just a brief overview highlight of showing one way that we can use this metadata to go back to that raw data and give us a more holistic picture of our table data. So tPlyr prepares and returns that summary data, and then we can collect that metadata about the tables in order to rewind them. And now we can use Shiny and other available tools, and the possibilities are endless. So I would love to talk to anyone about what they would like to see and how we can build this open source tool together. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. So I thought I found a question. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was the previous speaker. I really, really like tPlyr. I'm very happy that we are now able to make it dynamic, and it's just something that was missing because in clinical research, we are kind of like getting stuck a little bit in the static way too much. We want to produce things in CSRs and never touch them again. So I get a comment that it looks a little bit like ggplot2. And it contains the data as well as the geom. Was that a little bit of the inspiration was behind?
So I am a front-end developer, and at Atorus, I work on the Shiny aspect of things. I did not develop tPlyr, but I'm happy to put you in contact with I think the design that was kind of part of the design thinking, but that is kind of Mike Stackhouse's and Eli's baby, so I can refer you to them. But I do think that flexibility, because we work with a lot of companies, and each company is kind of their own snowflake in what they want. So we try to make it as agnostic and not be too opinionated.
All right. Yeah, I hope the comments and the questions are coming in, and I will also share them via Slack. Thank you again for your nice presentation. And we are going to try to